When you've been through enough, you learn to read people, or at least you think you do. Something about this job didn't feel right, but I was desperate. I needed the money, even if it meant ignoring the voice in my head telling me to walk away. The last time I ignored my instincts, I ended up paying a price. The ritual that was supposed to save me only brought more chaos. A native doctor died because of me, and I was left with nothing but debt and guilt. I didn't have the luxury to walk away. The streets don't wait for you to heal. So, I put on my best dress, fixed my makeup, and pretended I wasn't terrified.
Whispering trees at night, telling secrets in the light. Stars are dancing too, magic fills the view. Moonlight on the ground, softly glowing round. Dreams that take their flight in the still of night. Whisper low, whisper slow, let the wind take you home. Feel the breeze through the leaves, let your heart find peace. We'll start morning songs, sun will rise before long.
I met him at an upscale hotel bar where I sometimes worked. He was polite, charming, and seemed genuinely interested in me. His offer was too good to refuse, but I'd learned to trust my instincts, and something about him didn't sit right. Still, I needed the money, so I took the risk. He took me far from the city, to a mansion surrounded by nothing but trees and darkness. It felt too isolated, too far from help if anything went wrong. I stayed calm, telling myself I'd been in risky situations before, but this was different. He led me to a lavish room and offered me a drink, then stepped out, saying he had to take a call. He told me to stay in the bedroom. I decided to look for the kitchen to get some juice, just to calm my nerves. As I wandered down the hallway, I heard the words organ transfer tonight. I recognized his voice. My stomach dropped. They were talking about me. Panic surged through my veins. I had to act fast. The street had taught me a few tricks, like always keeping a hidden phone and memorizing details. I dialed the special anti-robbery squad number, whispering that I was kidnapped and about to be killed. I gave them the address and prayed they would get there in time. I woke up in a hospital bed, disoriented and exhausted. A doctor told me the police had arrived just in time. They raided the mansion and found me unconscious, but the man had escaped. I was alive, but I didn't know how much longer I could keep running from the dangers that seemed to follow me. The TV in the corner of the room was on. I wasn't really paying attention until I heard it. Over 200 body parts discovered buried in the mansion grounds. My stomach turned. The newscaster called me a hero, but I didn't feel like one. I wasn't brave, I wasn't noble. I was just lucky. Lucky to be alive in a world that seemed to devour people like me. The images on the news were haunting. Body bags being carried out of the mansion, police digging through the grounds, paramedics rushing back and forth. Over 200 body parts, they said, buried in that place of horrors. It wasn't just a mansion, it was a graveyard. The next day, the governor himself walked into my room. He was surrounded by cameras, bodyguards, and an entourage of aides. He smiled as if I was some sort of survivor to celebrate, someone who had overcome the impossible. But I just felt hollow. He said the government would cover my hospital bills, that I'd done a great service by bringing this horror to light. A few days later, the news broke again. They'd caught him, the man who'd kidnapped me, trying to flee the country through the Cameroon border. But his capture was just the beginning. It unraveled a network so sinister, it left me speechless. They arrested over 20 doctors across the country. Some of them owned private clinics where they told patients they needed a simple appendix surgery. But instead, they took a kidney. These kidneys were sold to men like him for small fortunes, then shipped abroad like cargo. It wasn't just doctors, they arrested others too. Wealthy clients who had funded this dark trade. People who lived in luxury while others paid the price with their lives. The more I learned, the deeper the horror grew. This wasn't about one man or one mansion. It was a network, a system that preyed on the weak and called it business. I should have felt relief, but all I felt was a deeper fear. How many more were out there? How long could I keep running? I didn't feel like a hero. I felt like a warning. The streets were dangerous, but what lay beneath them was far worse. I was alive, but I wasn't free. Not from the streets, not from Olokun, and certainly not from the shadows that seemed to follow me everywhere I went. That night, after I got home from the hospital, I went straight to bed. I dreamed I was swimming in the middle of a vast lake. The water was endless, and I felt myself struggling to stay afloat. There was no land in sight, just water stretching in every direction. Panic overwhelmed me. And I woke up on the shore of a lake, my clothes soaked, and my heart pounding. How did I get here? I started crying, feeling hopeless and broken. Maybe I should just give in, or maybe it was time to end it all. It was too much to handle, but I didn't know if I had the strength to keep fighting.